Hey guys, Garrett here, and chances are you have one of these, one or the other, or maybe you have both, but believe it or not, they do two very different things, and if you use one on the other, it's not going to work. So let me show you the differences between the two of these and the proper way to use them. The first thing you notice, the difference between the two of these should be pretty obvious. This one is flat, and of course this one has the little fluted end. This is intended for a toilet. This is intended for a tub, a shower, a lavatory, a sink of some sort. Now, the nice thing is this can be converted to be used. You just push it inverted just like that, and it can be used for all of those purposes. So you really only need one. If you see one that is like this, bypass it. Get one that has that fluted end to it. It can be used for all these purposes. So if you're using this and you're going to be using it on a tub, the nice thing is it's a nice flat surface there, and of course the bottom of the tub generally is too, so it's going to make a nice seal right there. So just put it over that drain and you'll give a nice series of quick plunges just like that. The intent is to agitate as well as kind of force a little bit of water through the system to push that clog out of the way. But most likely that clog is caused by hair, and this isn't going to do anything for it. This is the same for the sink. As you can see, nice seal all the way around it. Just give it some quick plunges, and as long as that clog is in the right place, you may throw it through. But again, it's probably caused by hair, and this is not going to do that. Exact same procedure if you have a shower or say a basement floor drain. You can do the same thing. You can try the plunger. If it doesn't work, you're probably going to have to use some sort of a snake or something like that. But next, let's talk about toilet and the reason that this exists. This is intended, as you look down in this toilet, that opening area there, it conforms to that and creates a nice seal. If you put it in just like this flat surface has nothing flat to grab onto. So all you're going to do is slosh a bunch of water everywhere. And of course, if you have a backup, it's probably full of poopy water, and you sure as heck don't want to get it all over the place. If you're in the act of doing this and you notice that you have a clog brewing and it is just filling and filling and filling, hurry! Turn off the shutoff valve to your water supply feed here. Quick, do that before the whole thing overflows all over the place. And then same deal, if you notice that it's way up, don't flush again. You're just going to overflow the entire thing. So quick, turn off that water supply so that you don't overflow everything and cause a giant mess. Now let's just say the water level is way up here and you need to plunge. Well, don't. Wait a little bit. Wait a good 30 minutes to an hour until that level falls. Most likely a little bit of water is actually going past that clog that is in there. So it will slowly seep down. It's not easy to plunge something that is completely full and not get it all over the floor. Now it's time to plunge, and of course remember, correct orientation. If you're doing a toilet, this needs to be out. The big thing here is you want to try to fill this thing with as much water as you can. So you put it in, you try to get it as full as possible, and then you put it in place. Now don't just all of a sudden go crazy and start plunging the entire thing. You want to actually push this real slow. See if you can get as much of the air out of this as you possibly can so that there's water in there, because what you're wanting to do is push water through this, not air. That air is actually going to probably bubble up on the sides and splash you in the face. So some sort of a face shield or glasses, not a bad idea. Once you get to that, start pushing. Now, another thing to think about with this is round, and the opening to my toilet here is not. It's kind of an oblong. And this doesn't actually fit this very well. So I have actually used these to get these unstuck, but it's not the best tool. They make ones like this that are softer rubber and just an elongated thing that better conforms to this shape. And those would probably be the way to go. This is kind of an old school design. There are better designs out there, but the procedure is exactly the same. Fill this up with water and you're pushing that water slug down into that toilet to get that clog broke up. And if it does not break up and you can't get it anyway at all, you're either gonna have to call a plumber or you're gonna have to snake it yourself. So it should be pretty obvious which type of plunger to get. If the plunger does not have this on it, do not buy it. Remember, this can be pushed in and it will serve both functions. But the next thing you need to think about is, why is it backed up in the first place? If it's a tub drain or a shower drain or something like that, you can try to plunge it. I've had it work in the past, but not very often. Most likely your blockage is due to hair, and there's actually a tool to be able to use to get that out. I'll make another video showing that. But really, plungers are meant for your toilet. So again, why is that backing up? Do you have a really old toilet that just doesn't flush very well, doesn't have a lot of power? If you're replacing your toilet, are you buying the bottom of the rung of toilets out there? Really, you need to buy a decent quality toilet. I buy Kohler toilets. The ones I normally get are about $180 a piece. And to me, that's well worth it. I want something that has actual flushing power. But you got to think about this. You should not be flushing everything that you think you should down those toilets. Now, obviously, if you have kids, oh, you got to train them early of what to put in the toilet. And it's obvious, you know, toys, that sort of stuff, you should definitely not be putting in the toilet. The only reason a toilet should be used is to go number one or go number two, and that's it. Obviously, number one is not going to clog you up, but number two will. And with that, you're going to be using toilet paper. The big thing here is, don't use a ton of toilet paper. Don't use really long strips of toilet paper. The more that it can be small, the better job your toilet is going to have pushing it down, and then it's going to actually go through your pipes and then go out into the city sewers, and it's going to go where it needs to go. It's when it's in these giant clumps that it'll clump up in your toilet or it'll clump up in your lines, and it will cause big problems. It'll also catch on old cast iron pipes that are kind of broken, or clay pipes that are broken, or sewer roots, that sort of thing. Small amounts of paper go a long way, and if you think you need to use a lot, courtesy flush halfway through, flush it down, finish what you're doing, and then flush it again. As that toilet paper goes through the sewer system, it should dissolve in those pipes into much smaller and smaller pieces. Now, high quality multi-ply toilet paper has a slower time of doing that. So actually, really high quality toilet paper is more likely to clog up your system. Don't forget, absolutely never put flushable wipes down the toilet. They are not flushable. Ask me why I know. I spent 3 years as one of the heads of the sewer maintenance department in a big city. And flushable wipes are the bane of everyone's existence. They cause more blockages than anything else. And the whole reason is they don't break down at all. So I don't care if they call it flushable, they market it as flushable, it is not flushable, and it does not go in that toilet. It's easy to forget that when you flush something down, you don't see it. So a lot of people just don't care what happens to it as you send it down the stream. Well, you need to think about stuff like that. You need to know, where does it go? What is my impact on this? And with low flow toilets and flushable wipes and things like this, sewer backups are actually on the rise. So you need to know these things, and you need to teach your children these things. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like button down below, as well as subscribe. I'll see you next time.